Hi, this is Chef Janie Pendleton, and today I'm going to teach you how to make my candied pears. They're very easy, very simple. You can use canned pears for this, but I do suggest fresh pears. It'll give you better quality since you are going to water bath can these. Doesn't make them too mushy. But what you want to do is you want to start out with about 12 cups of pears. And that's enough that we should get in here about 6 pints. Okay? We'll see how we do here. Now I've got my pints boiling here, getting ready to boil anyway, in the water bath canner. Because I'm going to I sterilize these in the dishwasher, but I'm going to add them in here because we've got to add, remember, hot liquids, hot jars. So that's why I'm going to get this boiling, and that will also help to keep them sterilized while we're making this. And then here, of course, I've got my lids here in a little bit of regular tap water, and we're just going to heat this up to a simmer. And then we're going to shut this back off, and that will be fine. Alright, now here I've added a cup of Red Hots. You can make this as spicy as you like. You can add far more than that. And you just want to stir until the Red Hots are melted. And all that red dye has soaked through here. So we're going to turn this on about medium-high. So medium-high heat. Oh, a cup to 2 cups of Red Hots, however hot and spicy you like them. We like a little bit of cinnamon and spice, not a lot. Oops. Okay, and we just made a simple sugar and water syrup for this. I used 10 cups of water, and I used about 6 to 7 cups of sugar. And you can go 50-50 if you want a heavier syrup, that's fine. Just go 10 and 10 or 8 and 8 or however much you need to cover your fruit, okay? And however heavy you like the syrup, you can go with a light syrup and use a couple of cups less sugar. A medium syrup would maybe be 2 or 3 cups shy of the 50-50 mix, and a heavy syrup would be a 50-50 mix between sugar and water. I hope that clarifies that a little bit. And I've got enough water and sugar in here to cover my fruit. And now you can see this is turning red from the Red Hots. And I put in a cup of Red Hots. And if you don't want a lot of Red Hots and spice, you can just add a little bit of red food coloring. But you want this to soak in to your fruit, okay? So while this is heating up, this will start soaking in. Okay, we're just bringing this up to heat very slowly. And that's kind of cooking these so they're getting nice and soft. They're a little firm. A little soft, and they'll finish softening up when we water bath can them. Here I have my cinnamon oil. Hope you can see this. Is that a little jar of cinnamon oil? And we're going to empty however much in here. I'm going to put in about 10 to 12 drops because my girls like mine have a nice cinnamon flavor. But you don't even have to put this in because the cinnamon oil is actually in the Red Hots. But my girls like it a little bit spicier. So when this comes to the end, you just want to put in a little bit more cinnamon oil like that. Just a little bit. Kind of blend that in and heat that through. And again, we're just going to make sure that these Red Hots on the bottom are melted, and they are now. You can see the oil here, the cinnamon oil, kind of resting on top, and we're just going to kind of distribute that oil through here. You do not want to use powdered cinnamon in this unless you're making more of like a pie type pear filling, like a pear filling, a pie filling. That's fine. But this is candied pears. This is you can do this with apple rings as well. Just peel your apples, put in some apple rings or some sliced apples, and you've got some delicious candied apples. And they taste almost just like the ones at the carnival that you used to get on the stick. Remember those? Yum. Well, this is looking really good. Now I'm just going to kind of let this sit here and absorb that oil, that cinnamon oil. You can use other flavorings. I mean, if you want to use anise oil or sassafras oil, I don't know, root beer oil, whatever your little hitch is. But we use cinnamon in candied pears. But I'm sure you can get creative and maybe even do like a blackberry oil or something. Hang on, I'll show you my oil. I'll show you my oil collection. Okay, here you go. You name it, I've got it. Just gonna bring this up to temperature, and we'll bring you back when this is boiled, or I should say a hard simmer for probably about 5 to 10 minutes. We don't want our fruit to fall apart. We still want it a little firm when it goes into the water processing. And see, it's still just a little firm. Feels like it's almost there now, and I haven't even started simmering it yet. And again, you can use canned pears for this. And if you use canned pears for this, just bring this up to a simmer and simmer it for about 1 or 2 minutes. Then just turn off the heat, and we're just still going to let this sit for a few minutes because we want this to absorb. We want this to absorb the beautiful coloring and that. So we're going to use the juice in the jars, and it will continue to get that nice red coloring throughout the fruit. Once we've had this cooked enough that we've heated these pretty much through, but we haven't completely cooked them all the way through. We want to work with this quickly while it's hot. We've got our hot lids in the simmering water here. We can go ahead and pull that off. And with our sterilized, I put this down in the water as well. It's sterilized as well. We're going to start filling our jars. A little bit wider mouth jar there. You can get some more in there. There we go. I'm going to pack them really well. I think that will probably hold another couple. So using a plastic knife or a plastic fork to kind of come around here, or we're going to be using a bamboo stick. Either one doesn't matter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, and we're just going to dip in some of this liquid here. Try not to get any fruit. There we go. And we're just going to fill this up, and we're going to leave ourselves about a 1/2 inch headspace. See that amount? It's about a 1/2 inch headspace. And you can take your bamboo stick, and you can get out. There's bubbles. There's bubbles coming up. Or you can take a plastic fork or a knife, kind of hit that. And in doing that, you can see that we need a little bit more juice. I'm going to add a little more juice to that. That's perfect. Get it wet with some clean water. And we're just going to clean the rim. And I use a different piece of paper towel for every single jar. And I get around just the inside of that rim just a little bit. Then I take some of that water with my hand, and I lightly go over the rim like this, and I feel for any cracks or any chips or anything like that that might be in here. That's very important. Okay? We're going to take our lid and lay that right on top. Make sure that that's not sticky at all. Make sure we got a nice moist seal. You want a little bit of water there. Okay, then you place on the lid like this. Make sure that's centered. Put on your screw band, and we're going to give it a twist just like that right there, okay? We're going to carry it over. We're going to do one at a time. We're going to carry this over, and we're going to sit this down. You can see this. Aren't those beautiful? And we're going to sit these down inside of our water bath. Now, our water bath is not at boiling. It's just a simmering right now, and that's fine. Now we're going to get another one here. We're going to dump the water out of it. And we're going to bring it over. And we're going to do the same thing for it. And we're just going to continue to fill these jars up. The wide mouth jars are so much easier to fill. Well, I guess not too bad actually. Go, be free. Okay. There's one that doesn't want to be free there. Okay. Now again, we're just going to dip down in here and get our juice. And we're just going to fill that up. And we're going to use our bamboo stick. You can hear my birds, sorry. They're free today. They flew out of the room. Okay, and we're just going to get those air bubbles out again. Be sure and go down the center as well. And you can see here, I was looking to see if there's more room for more fruit. There's not. We're just going to go ahead and add a little bit more liquid here. bit more. There we go. Okay, and again, we're going to get a clean rag. We're going to wipe that down. Making sure we got it. Like I said, I even do the inside edge there. See right there's a piece of fruit. There we go. And we're going to take a little bit of water on our hand, check for any cracks or anything like that, make sure everything's okay. Oops, got two lids stuck together there. Again, we're going to give that a nice moist seal with a moist finger. Make sure that's clean and there's no cracks. Just our lid. We're just going to get that tightened down. Okay, we're just going to put the last one in here. There we go. We're going to check our water levels. We're a little too high there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to crank this heat up. We're going to put on our lid. And we're going to keep an eye on this. And this has got a nice hard boil, or a nice light boil, or a really hard simmer. That's when our time's going to start. And I'll come back here. I got this nice see-through lid with a little bit of a steam vent here. This really helps me to see what's kind of going on in here. That way I don't have to keep removing the lid. Okay? And I just use my stock pot for my water bath canner, and that works fine for me. You don't have to, if you don't have the money to go out and buy a lot of equipment, you don't have to do all that. You really don't. I've been doing this for 30 years, and my stock pot has been my water bath canner for quite some time now, and it works just fine. Okay, this is what we want it to look like right there, and we want to keep that going. And after it's been doing that for about a full minute, we're going to start our timer. And we're going to water bath can these for 20 minutes. Now meanwhile, just using a simple strainer, okay, I have strained the pear juice and I put it in another canning jar, and we're going to put a lid on this, and you can either can this up and keep this for a later date and time. Remember, we don't throw anything away here. This is totally recycling everything, even the sugar juice. And we can we're going to use this today, and we're going to can up some apple rings. Okay, so while I'm slicing up my apple rings, I'm just going to put a lid on this and set this aside. Okay, our water has calmed down for about 3 or 4 minutes after we process this for 20. And we're just going to give these a tip or a tilt, and we're going to remove the water off of them. And we're just going to sit them out here out of a direct, you don't want to sit these underneath an air conditioning vent or anything like that. Okay, again, tilt, get the water off. These are still very bubbly, very hot. We want to make sure we set these up on our towel or newspaper, a thick thing of newspaper, or a thick thing of paper towel. I just use some clean white cloths here. Make sure the cloths aren't damp, because that can eventually break the jar as well. And this is why we use our canning rack. We want to make sure that none of these are broke on the bottom. You want to double check. They're fine. You never want to can. You always want to use a canning rack here on the bottom. Grab it underneath the ring, the glass ring there. That's exactly what that ring is for. There we go. And we're just going to keep emptying our canner. And again, you can see the little ring there, that little dip. That's that little hook. We want to hook that right there. It's very important. We don't want to lift the jar out. Let me give you an example here. We don't want to lift the jar out here by the ring, because that can bend the ring and that can actually break the top of your glass. Give it a tilt. Okay, they're starting to pop. Let's see if we can time this right so that you can hear one pop. And it did it within seconds. There, did you hear it? There you go. I caught that on film right there. Awesome. But that's what it sounds like. Just, you'll hear a popping kind of ting sound. Okay, so you got to hear that one. So we're going to let you go here. That's 3 out of 6. And my birds up here are enjoying some sunshine up in the sun. Where are you going? Oh, there went another one. Did you hear it? Probably not over the birdies. This is Chef Janie Pendleton, and I hope this has inspired you, and I hope you'll come along with me as we make candied apples today. We've already made our apple butter, and that's in the other video. So go off here to the side, whichever side you're going to be on. Yeah. And make a comment below. And we hope you'll join us and subscribe. I am commercial free, and I choose to be commercial free. I have hundreds of thousands of hits and subscribers, and I just choose to be commercial free. I'm not here to make any money. That's what my day job is for. So, and I guess I won't quit my day job. This is Chef Janie Pendleton. God bless.